I know that. Enter, go do what you want to. Don't come up for here.
Who is the person driving the car?
I see MC, they explain, give the policeman, say no, she's not going anywhere.
No,
who is he?
I said that she's going. Like this.
Yes, explain it to him. Who calls him?
You are trying, don't worry, sorry.
No, you are doing for your level. I know that's what you have to do for your level. But who goes in for she to explain where she want to go?
You are a good person, MC. You are good.
What be that?
You are a very good boy. Don't worry.
Finally, this video wey una watch so na Ned Nwoko na im post am as an evidence to prove to the whole world that Sammy, wey be Regina Daniels brother, dey always come im house, dey constitute nuisance and also dey issue am different kind of threat anytime wey im feel like. My people, Ned Nwoko don come talk im own side of the story, and this time around, wetin I go just fit talk be say, things really dey happen for inside her house. They say there is always three sides to a story. We hear from Regina own side. Now make una hear Ned own. Then the truth itself dey for God hand. Make una draw una chair come closer. Make una come hear this matter from the very beginning to the very end. Now, according to Senator Ned Nwoko, he said, this video shows Sammy, Regina's brother, reportedly coming to my home and harassing my children and domestic staff, especially whenever I was not around. His visits were often aggressive and disruptive. This is someone I sponsored through his last 2 years at the University of Ekpoma. I bought his musical instruments, rented and furnished a flat for him in Abuja. In addition to the house I bought for Regina in Asaba before our marriage for the use of all of them, I also routinely provided allowances to all members of the family, including her mother, Regina Daniels. Indeed, in the last 2 years, I have a record of transferring 125 million to her alone. When Regina started her rehabilitation, there was a clear instruction by the doctors to strictly restrict people, especially her enablers, from having access to her. The therapy was arranged after I noticed troubling changes in her behavior linked to her dependence on certain illegal substances, including going for 48 hours without sleeping and eating every 2 hours. Unfortunately, Sammy, Destiny, some of their siblings, together with a few of their friends, notably Sonia Uche Montana, among others, constantly defied those instructions. They would come into the house uninvited, sometimes forcing their way in, and would bring her the same drug she was being treated for. Instead of helping her recover, they encouraged her addiction and completely frustrated the efforts of the doctors and therapists working with her. It is important to note that Lawrence, Sammy, his girlfriends NK, Destiny, Sonia and others also took the same drug as Regina. In fact, Lawrence and Sammy were the ones who first introduced and supplied this drug to her. They were deeply involved in the habits themselves, and rather than helping her get better, they kept drowning her back into the same destructive lifestyle. I do not drink alcohol nor smoke. In fact, I found these characters and behaviors reprehensible and totally unaccepted. Just 4 weeks ago, I woke up around 4 a.m. and realized that Regina was in my room and on the phone. She was clearly high and she knows that I do not want her in my room in that condition. I asked her to go to her room and she told me that Sammy's girlfriend was in her room. I was alarmed and angry because that girl should never have been in my house, let alone around Regina, since she is one of the enabler who constantly bring her the substance she is addicted to. I told Regina that the girl had to leave and one of my driver dropped her off. 30 minutes later, Sammy came to my house shouting and demanding that I come downstairs to face him. He said I had no right to ask his girlfriend to leave my house. He was ranting and threatening waking up everyone, including the children. I eventually went downstairs and had to instruct the security to physically push him out of my compound. The level of audacity was shocking without the influence of DRUG. Could he have been so bold and disrespectful? They did not stop there. On several occasions, they verbally assaulted and intimidated the police officers stationed at the house for security. The officers were simply following instruction to restrict access for the sake of Regina's recovery, but Sammy and his group would insult and threaten them whenever Regina wanted to go out and I was not around. She would become extremely hostile towards the police and domestic staff. She would shout, threatening and use abusive words, insisting that she must leave the house no matter what. There were at least two serious incidents where she left home in the evening and did not return until the next day. The first incident, she returned in the morning around 9 a.m. When I asked where she had been all night, she casually said she was at a nightclub. When I questioned why she would stay out at night, ignoring my calls and refusing to answer messages, her response was, "You are not my father, so don't ask me where I was." I found out that she was with Cassie and that Cassie was staying in Regina's house in Life Camp. Cassie in the chemist and supplier of the group. I had to go to Life Camp at 6 p.m. to ask her to leave. With her around Regina, the therapy became a joke. On another occasion, on the kid's birthday to be precise, I returned home with the kids because Regina said she would stay with her Nollywood friends for dinner. She didn't return until 5 p.m. the next day. I took so much nonsense just for the sake of the kids. I also knew that DRUG had a lot to do with it. As to her reasons for continuing with the DRUG, she would always say, just like her mother, that it is a celebrity lifestyle. They will always mention two well-known pop stars. Imagine the pain of a husband trying to help his wife recover, only to have the process sabotaged by her siblings and friends, the very people who should have been supporting her healing. This pattern of behavior made it almost impossible for her to recover. Each time progress was made, they would undo it by smuggling in the same DRUG she was fighting to give up. The entire household lived in tension and fear because of their constant harassment, interfering, and disregard for boundaries. It will be interesting to know her reasons for the violent behavior in the house the day that Sammy and other siblings came and attacked my staff and security. taking Regina away after doing a video which they posted the next day. Why did they do that video? Why did they post it? They simply planned and orchestrated a script all in my absence, regardless of the fact that my kids were there. They took away many things from my house, including one of my phones, money, and many other items. Everything that happened that day was in my house, in my absence. Nobody was beaten, and nobody could have contempted that. It is blatantly false to say that I sent dogs to beat Regina in another house. The video that went viral was filmed entirely in front of my house by Regina's sister and her friends. It was a pure Nollywood scenario in front of my property in my absence. Sammy should have a life of his own outside of Regina and focus on building his career independently. When his brother Lawrence went to London a couple of years ago to do his master's degree, I personally sponsored him $70,000 for tuition and upkeep. I sent him abroad partly to help him escape the toxic environment of DRUG exposure and bad influence around them at the time. Out of fairness, I offered Sammy the same opportunity, but he declined, insisting he wants to remain in Nigeria to pursue his music career. Unfortunately, he has since been arrested several times by both the police and the EFCC. His behavior has become increasingly violent and unstable. What he needs now is total rehabilitation and professional guidance. Otherwise, his aggression and self-destructive tendencies will only worsen. My people, na wetin Ned Nwoko come drop be dat wey make I talk am say at dis point they say they have two sides to a story. Ned Nwoko own side, Regina Daniels own side, then the truth itself wey na God na im know. From the very beginning, I said it before and I'm still saying it again. All these things are not supposed to be a thing to be brought to social media. There are still ways they can settle this. But if Regina on her own said she is no longer interested in the marriage, please, Ned Nwoko should let her go. If she say she no wan stop to dey take the DRUG and she no wan go rehabilitation, make him allow her to be. After all, na her family, na her life, na her future. Anything wey she wan do with am, e no suppose concern am. Abi, my people? Because at this point, it's as if him now, he dey try to say him don try all him best as a man, as a father, as a husband, to make sure say him try him best for Regina to give her the best life and to save her from the addiction. But Regina say lie, she no go stop addiction. Say she go continue to dey addicted. And now the thing don dey get to the level wey be say they no fit control am again. So Regina never lied when she said they go keep her for inside house, they give her injection up and down. She never lied. True, he put her on home rehabilitation where she dey take injection and other treatment, but e no dey work based on say Regina family allegedly, according to Ned Nwoko, say they still dey carry the DRUG, they come dey give Regina make she dey take, making all their effort effortless, making all everything that the doctor, the therapist dey try im best to do, they turn am upside down, making it look as if the man no know im work. My people, wetin be una judgment for this one? We don hear from Ned Nwoko again. We don also hear from Regina. Now, na wetin to believe na im remain. At this point, just believe whatever it is. that you think whoever you feel is saying the truth, make una drop am for the comment section. But in all, na Regina get her life. Na the family know wetin dem want. E should set Sammy free. Let dem go and live their life. If dem wan continue with the DRUG, na dem sabi. If dem wan go rehabilitation, na dem still sabi. When person say e no wan make you protect am again, no be to leave am alone. Abi my people, wetin una think? To protect the Regina no be by fire by force. To marry her no be by force. With all this your explanation, it automatically means that you have tried your best. So set Sammy free and allow the family be. Or guys, wetin una think? Make una come drop am for the comment section. Do well to give the video a massive thumbs up. Help us share like for more like minds and more recommendation. I remain your humble girl gifted gist. I mean they bring una latest of all legit info. If you never subscribe to this channel, I use going to beg una make una help us subscribe. Hit on notification bell so they go notify you anytime we drop latest ogbonge tori like this. See you guys in my next upload. Bye for now.